So we are at Tom's Creek. Tom's Creek is what we call a third order stream. That means a small stream that actually is not the size of, say, the New River, but it's also not a very tiny creek like that dries up sometime. There are hundreds of streams like this that feed the New River. It's one of the most diverse regions of the US, the southeastern United States. And within that, one of the most diverse species is found right here in the southeastern United States, and they are the minnows. So there are about 150 distinct minnow species in North America, most of which don't get bigger than 7 inches. They do a lot of things with the bottom of the stream. They feed there, they make nests there, they shelter there. And because of that, when you're looking for a good stream habitat, you're looking at what does the bottom of the stream look like. What we have here, we will call them gravel and pebble. These are actually mostly the size of stones that some fish can actually carry. Some fish species that make nests will carry these in their mouth and use them to build a mound nest and such. And things like logs and vegetation to supplement the rocky bottom that we are interested in. You might wonder, is it better to have round rocks in the bottom of a creek or flat rocks? And the answer is both are good. There are species that actually are adapted to using flat rocks as a nest. So when they are ready to nest, the male will go under the rock and clear space, make sure that it is safe. And then the male and the female will enter that space. So a flat rock that is suspended a bit and has a little bit of space created under it is actually a fantastic nest, naturally created for a fantail darter to make babies. I try not to disturb the gravel in the bottom of the creek because the fish we study also disturb the gravel to make their nests. If you just wade carelessly, you might make things with your boots that later we will look at and think that the fish did that, because it's indistinguishable. It's amazing the kind of bulldozing and shoving and such that fish can actually do. So a good stream has a variety of habitats that are distinguished by the speed of the water. So all these features, like this little depression you see there, could easily be the beginning of a nest. And a fish will come and explore, do a little bit of shoving to see if the substrate is clean, and then if it is good, you could easily see, if you leave this spot for 4 hours, you come back and there is actually something real over here. That's sort of how things unfold. Of all animals with backbones, fish constitute half of all these animals in terms of species diversity. There are currently about 34 to 40,000 known species of fish. About half of those are freshwater fish. The vast amount of water in the biosphere is in the oceans. Those that are freshwater are actually mostly in polar ice caps, and a very small amount is in these flowing rivers that you see over here. And in these rivers and lakes, they harbor half of all known species of fish. The more habitats there are for species to adapt to and live their life differently, the more species you are going to have. Why is it important to have biodiversity? Out of biodiversity, humans have learned and benefited a lot. We study them to understand their behavior, but in so doing, we are studying feats of engineering. And so we're working with engineers who are trying to understand the hydrodynamics, i.e. how water moves in and around this structure, and how oxygen moves in and around this structure, and how fish know how to build this structure that will optimize the development of its larvae. So we learn from fish. So if you're somebody who likes to fish and you like big fish, you might wonder what's the use of a minnow. There is one species of minnow that makes it possible for 10 species of minnows to maybe exist in this creek. Then you want your bass and you want them in large numbers. The bass feeds on minnow. the bass populations are not going to look good unless there is a healthy population of minnows over here. And there is rock bass here, and there are some smallmouth bass that are not necessarily native here, but those who like to fish want to see smallmouth bass here. All of them cannot exist if the minnows were not here. So that is the interconnectedness of biodiversity. The birds, the ducks, the water snakes, the fish, they are all living in a balance that is very delicate. And they need each other in order to be able to exist here.